Thank you so much, Anjani, thank you so much, Anjani, for having me on today. And I just give a huge thanks to what you're doing out here and cloud computing with people all over the world. It's cool that I'm able to tune in from North America to share my ideas and what we've been working on. I'd like to give a huge thanks to your daughter for experimenting with our technology and using blockchain to really prove how simple it can be. I think that's a huge testament to what we've been saying for the past over 2 years now, nearly 3 years. The public network will be 3 years old on March 21st. So yeah, that was just last week. Very cool. So I have a small presentation here prepared. This is just going to be like a top-down approach on the ecosystem for ARC, and we're going to have Anjani go into more details with the technicals, but I'm going to give just that umbrella presentation here. So I'm going to activate that. And Anjani, are you able to tell my screen to share from your side?
Yes, so this is the way you can share. Just see here how I'm sharing. Here is the option, share. At the top, it's share. You're able to see my screen? At the top, it's share. So I'm stopping my sharing. You can share it.
Yes. Okay, so can you see my screen now?
I believe it should still be coming. I still see your screen. Did you put share button? Did you click the share button?
Yes, share desktop. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
It's coming.
Excellent.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay, so now you can see the presentation itself, correct? Anjani, are you there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was on mute.
We can.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. So I'd like to first start things off with this quote. The quote is, ARC empowers everyone regardless of their aim or technical background to quickly and easily leverage blockchain technology for their projects, applications, or business. Now, there's a very unique source for this quote here because we actually had a community contest among the community members of the ARC ecosystem and had them describe ARC within 8 seconds, which is a special number because that is the block time of the ARC public network, very fast blockchain, much faster than Bitcoin's 10-minute block times. And this won the contest, and that contest winner received ARC. So we now like to spread this quote as it really encompasses what we're all about here at ARC. So ARC was founded in late 2016, and it was in the wintertime of 2016 that the ARC public network first came online with 125 million tokens created on the main network. And there are around 29 team members currently with ARC, but that number is always growing. We've hired about a half dozen people in early 2020 and another half dozen in late 2019. We're always expanding. Our desktop wallet is highly heralded around the world as being very easy to use for regular everyday people like my mom. Okay.
Okay. Sometimes it happens on the online meeting, yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Not a problem, not a problem. So our wallet's been downloaded nearly 250,000 times, and we have very easy to use desktop and mobile wallets that also work with any new blockchains that are created using our products. We also have over 50 partnerships, many different types of entities from hackathon organizers to exchanges to full-scale projects that are building on our technology. And in 2017, ARC incorporated in France for ARC.io, which is the business entity that maintains the code base, along with open source developers all around the world. That is a unique business entity known as an SCIC, which was the first of its kind for crypto ever. And it really encompasses how the overall everyday operations of our project goes on. We have a business entity that maintains the code base, and we interact with open source developers, while the ARC public network is a separate entity maintained by ARC delegates. I'll touch on that very briefly soon. So ARC has 6 core values, which really drives our vision and our mission, with simplicity being the first and biggest one. That was definitely exemplified today with me being able to tell you that an 11-year-old was able to create a blockchain. Also, I don't have extreme technical background in writing code. I have a very strong background in technology itself, but I was able to use Arc products to launch a test blockchain myself as well, with nodes and everything. So very simple. Also very secure, running on a delegated proof of stake consensus mechanism, which Arc tweaked to give it a unique flavor that handles some of the issues that currently plague delegated proof of stake. There are 51 forging delegates that add blocks to the blockchain and create new ARC tokens. Also speed. The public network has 8-second block times, but we also bake speed into all our projects and products. It's very fast to use the wallets and send ARC. It's very fast to create new blockchains, etc. Also scalability. With a network of scalable interoperable bridge chains, which what we call side chains, separate blockchains that are created, the ARC ecosystem can scale exponentially without slowing down. And the fifth one is sovereignty, where you can create your own custom blockchain with bespoke governance, meaning that overall ecosystem using ARC interoperability protocols. And last is support. We have a dedicated community and expert team which pride ourselves on providing the highest level support for ARC users. We have what's called the ARC Slack, which is at slack.arc.io. It's like a giant real-time chat system. People are in there, community members are in there, enthusiasts, programmers and developers. They're all asking questions, discussing ARC, and we get a lot done going on there. I touched briefly about our partnerships, but these are some of the larger ones. I'll just go over these very quickly. We have NOS, which is a project, full-scale project that is building on ARC technology. You can learn more about NOS on our blog at blog.arc.io, as well as on our YouTube channel. Also Spend, which allows you to spend ARC using a Visa-backed card, where you can spend cryptocurrency, it converts it to fiat in the background in real time. Works with ARC and other cryptos. Also Ledger, our desktop wallet, integrates with the Ledger Nano hardware devices. And we also have a partnership with Wolfram. They are a party that develops this language called Wolfram Alpha, which is like a very natural, expressive language, almost like you're having a communication with another entity to get data arranged for you in very specific ways. It's actually really cool. Hard to explain quickly. But also MLH, Major League Hacking, the hackathon provider I mentioned earlier. Their goal is to excite STEM interest among students. So let's talk about the ARC blockchain platform from a higher level here. We tend to organize this in 3 layers, with the first layer being the ARC core. So the ARC core is a lightweight and easy to use, but very powerful code base, authored in TypeScript, and it functions as the base component of the entire ARC ecosystem. It's open source, which means that anyone can work on the code, and this is a trend that's definitely strong these days with major companies such as Microsoft and others. Also features, the ARC platform's modular architecture enables many powerful features, such as dynamic fee structures, custom transaction types, multi-sig implementations, webhooks, and plugins. So the second layer is the ARC public network. The ARC core runs on nodes, which all comprise the ARC public network, which launched March 21st, 2017. It is decentralized with 51 forging delegates securing the network, using their nodes to forge and validate blocks. Now, 51 doesn't seem like a high number, especially when comparing it to Bitcoin's node count, which is in. But with delegated proof of stake, if you don't already know, which is different than Bitcoin's algorithm, which is called proof of work, the ARC token holders are actually voting on which delegates are to be a delegate and create new ARC. So this gives a decentralization aspect and puts it back into the network without sacrificing performance that you would definitely get that sacrifice with a block time that's too low. So the token holders use their ARC to vote on which delegates can secure the network. If delegates are doing a good job, they secure the network for a long time. If the delegates are acting erratically, then they're replaced with new delegates. And again, as mentioned earlier, the ARC public network is fast with 8-second block time, so I can send ARC anywhere in the world in an 8-second time span, which is really nice. So let's talk about the third layer. First, we had the core. Then we had the ARC public network, which is the main central network that's on many different exchanges and utilized, etc. But now we have the Arc bridge chains, which is the third layer. So you can see on this graphic here on the right-hand side, we have the Arc core as represented by the Arc logo here in the center. Then we have these red dots, which are representing 51 forging delegates of the Arc public network. And then we have these other chains. We just called them Taco chain, but they can be any blockchain for any use case that developers use our technology to create these new blockchains. By offloading non-essential complex transactions to these bridge chains, Arc ensures that the mainnet remains fast and lean. This addresses scaling constraints, also slow transaction speed and block times. This addresses high costs and fees. If you have a particular use case, like for example, CryptoKitties based on Arc, for example, you could have many transactions taking place on that CryptoKitties chain without impacting the fees or the performance of the Arc public network or some other chain that's also running using Arc technology. And then also it gives you sovereignty, where the developers in the community who are involved in these projects are in control of their own developmental future. And no one can force them to do this or that because they're not a tenant on some mainnet landlord, and they're not concerned about any issues that may arise from that situation. So there's a lot more than I'm going to discuss today, and that's all found in the technical white paper. This white paper is found at arc.io/white paper. All the information you need, but it's also easy to read and digest. It's online and interactive, so you can click on anything you need to get to, and it's really nice. So next, let's talk about the Arc token briefly. This is the native cryptocurrency for the Arc public network. So we have arc.io, which is the business entity that maintains the code base along with open source community developers working on the open source code. Then we also have the Arc network, which is called the Arc public network. And then we have the Arc cryptocurrency, which is called Arc, and the ticker symbol is also Arc. The Arc token is used as a medium exchange for mainnet services, to provide liquidity for bridge chains, and to be used as a payment method for the upcoming Arc marketplace, which is coming out soon. The Arc tokens can be bought via the desktop wallet or online exchanges. They can be sold, traded, spent, staked, and even used to vote for delegates. So let's talk about the Arc wallet briefly. These are some screenshots of the desktop wallet, but we also have a very nice mobile wallet as well. The desktop and mobile wallets are highly secure, and the user interface and built-in features were developed with the user in mind, making them quick and easy to use, while transactions occur almost instantly due to the speed of the Arc public network. Now, when developers use Arc technology to create new blockchains, bake their use case into the existing Arc desktop wallet using plugins. We have a very extensive plugin system that we just released for the desktop wallet. And the desktop wallet, of course, works with all Arc-based crypto assets. Now, that's one way to do it, and it puts you deeper into the ecosystem. Another way is to just use our open source code and make a new wallet of your own and modify as needed. I believe NOS did this, and they have a lot of cool new NOS-specific features baked into their client. From NOS, we have the CEO and founder, Dean Van Tuchteren, who had this quote: "Arc Core is by far the best solution for developers to build a blockchain with. With the plugin systems and modules, all of it just comes to NOS has been gushing words of praise about Arc, and we like that. The platform features are vast. I'll just touch on these very quickly. Open source, as mentioned multiple times. Also, it's modular, so developers can enhance their core with custom modules that address specific use cases, and it very easily integrates with the core. And because it's modular, the core is able to interact with other blockchains that are based in Arc easily, while still being highly customizable and extensible for specific use cases. Also, we have SDKs, many SDKs that interact with the core. You can do so with your favorite programming language, such as Python or PHP or JavaScript or Go. We used to have over a dozen, but we've since scaled back some lesser used platforms and maintain our core of a little over half dozen SDKs. Also, it's scalable, as mentioned earlier. We have the multi-chain approach, which takes care of scaling concerns, and interoperable, which allows these blockchains to communicate with one another. So the question is, if you want to create a blockchain and become a part of the Arc ecosystem, how do you do that? And can you do that easily? Well, yes, it's very easy using the Arc deployer. It's a free that enables you to build, customize, and deploy your own blockchain in just 3 simple steps. It uses effortless graphical user interface combined with battle-tested guides and procedures to get you to blockchain fast. That is available at arc.io/deployer and has great documentation to go with it. Speaking of documentation, we recently redid and upgraded our documentation hub to give you many guides and many tutorials and all the information you need to work with Arc technology from a service level all the way down to a complete rebuild and deployment of very complex use cases using Arc. So you can check that out at docs.arc.io. So also, as an open source project working with many developers all around the world, we have a bounty program so that people can earn Arc for contributing to our code base. You can report security vulnerabilities and get Arc. You can do pull requests and commits on our GitHub repos and earn Arc doing that. You can see here on the right-hand side, we have some various projects that have some bounties attached. These are some larger bounties, but you can also just get your toes wet and fix some minor issues or add some smaller features and get lesser bounties. You can learn more about the bounty program at arc.io/bounties. So next up, we have the Powered by Arc program. This program is designed to support Arc bridge chains, these new blockchains entering the ecosystem. As Arc.io, we have the ability to help you get your project out there and get more people and more eyes on your project. This is accomplished by joining the Powered by Arc program, which we help bridge chains to enhance their development, build relationships, and expand their audience. You can learn more about that at arc.io/powered by Arc with dashes. And you can see this here on the screen. So where can you find Arc? Well, you can find us at events these days, virtual events, right? You can follow us on social media and get in touch. As a user, you can secure funds, share ideas, and spend Arc. Find out more about that at arc.io/user. As a developer, you can build, contribute, and earn with Arc. You can find out more about that at arc.io/developers. That would be highly relevant for the audience here today. As delegates, you can secure the network and generate Arc. And you can find out more about that at arc.io/delegates. Also applies to this audience here. And then as an advocate, you can spread the word about Arc. These are people who may be technically enthusiasts who bring Arc for kits. And of course, here are our social media. Really great with a lot of traffic coming in every month at arc.io. Also our Slack, as mentioned, where you can share ideas with other people in real time about Arc. Also, our Twitter is very solid for disseminating information about our network progress, what we're building, new products, other things are happening there. We also have an excellent blog, one of the best blogs out there, in my opinion, which is one of the reasons why I was attracted to the project. You should check that out at blog.arc.io. Also a YouTube channel, if you want to get more information on Arc in the video form and see more of me, you can do that on the YouTube channel at youtube.arc.io. The channel is Arc. And then Facebook, our page is arc.io, but be advised, we're always searching for and shutting down imposters who try to put their own little groups together and then take advantage of some people. So be wary there, but our official one is at arc.io on Facebook, at arc.io, and contact me directly at justin@arc.io. I'm always happy to take any question about Arc. So with all that said, thank you very much for the time and appreciate the opportunity. To speak to you about Arc. I'm going to give it out.
Yeah, thank you, Justin. There was some issue with the network. So this was great introduction of Arc. obviously I would before I start, I would ask people if they have any question about Arc, and obviously Justin can answer, or I will move on. So if you have any question, put that in the chat window, and or else I will start the session.
Absolutely.
Any questions? Okay. Okay. No, so I think I will have to start. Give a start, and then I will ask them to again ask them the question to put the question at the end of the session. Thank you for joining, Justin. I will let you go now.
All right, very good. Thank you very much again.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So yes. This session webinar will be is recorded and will be available. It's available streamed on our different channel on multi-cloud. So you can check that out. I will send you the link. Okay, Justin. Yeah.
All right. Have a good meeting.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
So bye-bye. So guys, let's start with from where the Justin left. I will try to take you a little deep inside Arc platform, and so we already talked about this session. Let me just clear my screen a little. It's a little cluttered somewhere. Just give me a moment. Yeah, so hope you are able to see my screen. So as discussed, as I talked, so this is, I will not take much time. So yeah, please go on mute. Okay. So as discussed today, we started on Arc blockchain, and I had with me Justin Rankin. He's the senior brand manager of Arc.io, and he is promoting and making people understand about the simplicity of Arc. And this is URL. This is not the LinkedIn URL, but direct URL where you can directly connect with him. And there are more detail about him. He's the co-author and published patent. He has published a lot of patent on thermal imaging product in multiple blockchain. He has featured in multiple blockchain sessions and events. This is me, Anjani Kumar. I have many of you know, so I will skip this out. I have, if you talk about blockchain, so we run a separate blockchain program which is called blockchainkits.net, and this is meant for kid, but this is the kids are more very much smart than very great technology. We talk a lot out there on LinkedIn or somewhere on blockchain, and if you doubt, get those kid into a session, and they will teach you much better than many of the great people who are there out. So this is about Arc. The session, the first session was the first agenda has covered, which is Arc with Justin Rankin. Justin ideally gave most about the Arc, so I will skip a little bit on the point 3 and 4 and 5, so to save time. So we'll start with blockchain. So this is our this is the URL which you can before I start. This is Arc platform. You can go to arc.io. Everything is there. Multi-cloud platform where you were talking about the videos and everything that comes here either in the streams or in the session, multicloud4u.com/session, or you can directly go to the multi-cloud4u platform. And the stream is where we continuously stream in the evening from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. every day in the evening, Monday to Friday most of the time. And on Saturday and Sunday, we mostly stream on whenever we are online with such sessions. So what is blockchain? So blockchain, obviously many of you know, is essentially a decentralized digital ledger that stores and records data and transaction. This data can take the form of money, contract, votes, or personal data and record. Data is cryptographically secured in a block, and blocks are linked together to form a blockchain. Core nodes continually validate the blocks on the chain, and the data stored within them working on a consensus model. I will come through that. Blocks that are tampered with will be rejected by the nodes in the network. If one node is corrupted and goes against the consensus, the other node will be able to identify this almost instantly and quarantine the bad node. In this way, data on the blockchain is extremely secure and almost impossible to corrupt. So it's something like if you think about a situation at this point of time due to COVID-19, blockchain also work like a society. It's an economy. So I will come there. I have a diagram, nice diagram to make you understand. So there are basic benefit of blockchain. One is the security because it's completely cryptographed. There are multiple layer of security that are there in the blockchain. Once I dive deep inside those the core module of Arc, I will take you through that journey. There is a trust and visibility because everything is encrypted and any transaction that happens need to have at least 51% vote. So that vote actually happens and make it a more democratic platform than anything else. So because it's a democratic platform, so people think that it's more trusted and visible. And visible in terms of everything is transparent. You can see it. If this is not transparent, there are private blockchain. There are some specific blockchain, internal blockchain there are multiple programs that are happening. One of the example of a corporate blockchain is Hyperledger. There are different way to handle that stake for a 51% consensus. Consensus is something where everyone votes, and if 51% people says that okay, this is right, the blockchain, the whole network consider it as a right, and that's the voting mechanism that happened. There are different ways to understand it. One is the delegated proof of stake, on which the Arc is based on, which is one of the fastest and one of the secure way to deal with it. And there are other proof of work, proof of stake, and the older one where everyone takes a chance to as a miner to validate that blockchain, and then once at least 51% people confirm that it's going to happen, it's done. It's like this is a real block, that the real transaction that has happened, it gets written into. But there are lot of things beyond that, the Bitcoin world which was there, which has evolved with the time, and how blockchain is becoming more and more powerful, more and more advanced down the line. Why obviously it's a technology for the kids, but it's going to do some transformation in our time. We will see in 3-4 years coming year. There are many things happening into the whole IoT world, in the world, the way cloud is being connected to different cloud platform, a lot of things. That's why we have connected with our multi-cloud platform, because it has real advanced uses other than what we do extreme kind of engineering in most of the world, where we play with a lot of microservices, but we at a point we forget that how it can be the knowledge and the learning and microservices can be converted into blockchains. Then it has a cost saving. There are multiple regions to tell that, and we'll come and we'll dive deep with the time. So this is a diagram. Obviously, it's like a mess, but to understand it, everyone, like you see, there is node 1, node 2, node 3, node 4. So in a one blockchain, you have to consider it as an ecosystem. One blockchain, you have to consider it as an economy in itself, because anything, any activity that happens, obviously that takes up energy, right? And to take that energy, you need energy, right? To waste that energy, you must have something to transact to that energy, and that's where the token concept of money or currency comes into the picture. So someone has to do some activity, and someone need to consume that activity. So he need to have money. So if we enter into this ecosystem, it has its own economy. The way there is economy in Kidzania, there is an economy when you take your kid to Kidzania, right? They have their own money, you play with it, or you trade with a Vyapar game that is the old school game that was there, or the trading games that that is there in your home. It's almost similar to that. But the best thing out here is if the blockchain platform is advanced and smart enough, every node becomes a server. Every node is able to build, able to serve in a multiple way. Every node is able to build multiple applications. Those applications, the way Justin was talking, that it is almost like it allows you to separate a core network with a bridge chain. You are able to build up your application. That's called dApp. So there are different type of dApp and the different way to build dApp. One of the ways that you just take yourself out from the core platform, you build your application, you serve to the network, you have your own server, and it's almost like a client server way to serve. But once all those applications, all those activity that happens with your own platform can be directly synced to the core blockchain network, and through that, a application running in India has a copy of application running in US, and the same application can run, and the transaction can be synced through the whole the blockchain network which is there. So there are multiple ways to understand it, and there are multiple ways to think about. So someone is running wallet, someone is running forging, someone is running a mining tool, or maybe a delegate computer, which actually confirm your transaction. Someone is running a cloud-based Elasticsearch application or something else, or a data science application. Someone is running a data mining, IoT, or AI-based application. So it's like every node can do every kind of different kind of activity, but to transact between these different nodes, to transact the work between these different nodes, they need to have an internal coin, internal currency, internal economy connected to it. And that's where, how do you get to that economy? Through wallet and exchange. Exchange is something which is like a world from where you connect to the fiat economy, which is like the government economy, where you come out, do the business. Once you are out, you have to convert that into the actual money. The way the share market works internally, obviously shares are valued, but once you come out, how your platform, how your economy is being valued outside. That depends upon how fast your economy is running, how fast your economy is transacting money inside. So now talking about Arc.io, it's a point-click blockchain. Why we call it a point-click blockchain is because everything is done with a GUI interface. It's very easy, and I will show you how. So Justin has already described about all the things, first layer, which is, and second, and I will take you directly. So the bridgechain that I was talking about, this is the core network. There are multiple nodes that can run up, and these nodes can feel themselves independent. They have their own application. They can connect to Ethereum. They can connect to Bitcoin network anywhere, and internally transact on top with the Arc core network. That's the beauty of Arc, because it's completely API driven. White paper, as he was talking about, it's an Arc.io white paper. Arc for users. So users are basically the people who are more around understanding, taking Arc for business, not like us as a developer or an architect, or people who are building new, extending the Arc platform for multiple regions. So for them, Arc wallet is very much important thing. And obviously Arc or any blockchain companies really respect people who build wallet for them. So there are multiple wallet which is already available on Arc. You can build your own, and there is a bounty program for each and every developer which is there. And this is the wallet where you keep your Arc token safe. And every wallet has a public key. So every node in a blockchain has a public and private key associated with it, and that's its address in the different hash format, minified or maxified. There's Arc Explorer. Arc Explorer. Every blockchain has a point where you can explore the whole blockchain network. So I will take you through that link. Arc token I have talked about. Tip is something where you can give. There's a program that is coming. You can tip someone directly on Twitter, SMS, WhatsApp, and it's like something the way we play with PhonePe, the way we play with the wallets in the real currency wallet in the real world. So Arc is also trying to connect with this platform. Vote. So obviously 21 forging delegate that Justin was talking about. Let me tell you a little more about that. So 51 forging delegate means 51%. These delegate have the right to put a transaction on Arc, but 51 forging delegate doesn't mean that there are only 51% doing that. So there's a group of people who form a forge, and then that actually that forms a delegate, and then transaction happen. But even for that group of people to be able to put that transaction into the Arc system, the whole people, the complete network who is doing the transaction, who is actually doing the transaction at the lower level, should be able to vote for them. And to vote, there are different criteria for it. So that's why it becomes very difficult to hack the system, because at least you need to have 51% stack in the system in a collaboration to be able to put the transaction there, or to able to win the network. So that's the benefit of it. And this 51% system runs in all the different way. Either you use DPoS, which is this delegated proof of stake. This is called representative democracy. The way India is there, like we have people in parliament, we have people for us in different states, and those people are actually building the rules. Those people are doing the actual transaction for us. So, and we vote for them. Similarly, this is like a similar technology based on the way the human have built the base of democracy. The second one is proof of stake, and I will not go dive deep into it. I will take time. Like maybe in another session, I will take you through each and every concept of it. ARK delegate I talked about. These are the people who are the Democrats for you, who are the parliamentarian for you, who actually get voted to be able to put the transaction right. ARK for developer, that's very interesting thing. So how do you create a blockchain in a minute? Let me take you through the system directly. So if you come here and see, so I have opened up everything. So this is the ark.io documentation. This is the main documentation that you need to understand. This has Ark Learn, Ark Guide, Ark SDK, Ark Exchange, Ark Deployer, Ark API, Ark Word Paper, and Ark Answer. So start with, if you are not a developer, you just know, but you know blockchain, how blockchain works. You don't understand a lot about technology, .NET, Java, or any 12 language that we're talking about, APIs and other thing. And the intricacies of technology, you can simply click Ark Deployer. And that's why they call it point click blockchain. And then, so it's like you have to prepare a few files. There's a complete introduction which is being given up. Then you have to customize your file, and then you can deploy it. So for that, you may have to have few virtual machine running, and on those virtual machine, it will automatically deploy. You need to have a GitHub account so that you can copy the Ark code directly from there. Down the line, I will go through each and every step. And my blockchain kit team is also building sessions continuously on these platforms. So there are a lot of things going to come up in next 1 or 2 months, either from multi-cloud directly, one of my team member or me will be doing it, or someone from the blockchain kit program will be doing it. So so another thing, if you are a developer, but before I go to the developer, I will try to take you to one of the portion of Ark, which is called Ark Explorer. So Ark Explorer is where all the transaction happening, which is happening on the Ark. So these are the transactions. This is a real-time transaction which is happening on the Ark. So this is the cost price. So this is the price. Ark token price at this point of time, $0.16. So obviously the currency has a different way to understand. I will bring in Bhaskar Tripathi once we talk around the financial of cryptocurrency, talk around the research that we are doing into the OpenSwarm AI project, and he will talk in detail about how this numbering, how these things work, and what are the predictions that are happening. There's a complete different, it's a complete different world. We'll come there and we'll definitely give you a session on that. So these are the transactions. This is happening. You see Goose, Blue for Slice, and a lot of these guys. So these are actually, there are many of them would be delegates. So you see, this is the delegate who is trying to put the transaction up. There was, I think someone is pinging something. Okay, so we share the videos. We don't share the PPT. The video will be live on our different channel. So yeah, so this is how the things happen on the on every, like in every transaction. You can see how it's happening. There is a sender, there is a recipient, there is a transaction type, is a transfer, there's a confirmation, and if the blocks has been generated directly, there will be different transaction type happen. This is 250 ARK has been transfer, and there's a fee that has been that has cost for it. And this is the fee which was needed to vote that delegate. One of the delegate. So that fee is necessary, and then nonces like will we'll try dive deep into different section of blockchain. Another thing which is there is so now let's go back into the actual development stack. So we talk about Arc has its own API. The complete list of APIs is broken into different sections. So the blockchain. So you can get the transaction data that you are seeing here in the transaction list. When you go into the API section, just give me a moment. You will be able to see the whole transaction, and you can directly query these transactions. So if I put here, and there is a tool called JSON to CSV converter, and if I try to copy it and try to hit this, so I see that the block ID and this much Arc is there's a supply of the Arc. So you can directly see that you can play with these APIs, and you can, and there's a good documentation here given. So endpoint is there, how the REST API is and where REST API is there, then the blocks, then bridge chain that you was talking about, the external network. And this bridge chain is very important for people who are building dApp or who are building separate application on the actual Arc core network. For business, it's there. These are the API for delegate. These are the API for nodes and peers. This is where the complexity comes in, because this becomes more like a core APIs, and here you need to put the configuration, hash, token, public and private key. So the complexity you start putting in, where you have to generate the public key and the private key, the hash and things like that, and then put that to the network. So there are different type of API, peers, round, transaction, vote, and wallets. But even if before exploring this, there's an easy way to learn, easy way to work with this, and this is SDK. So if we talk about SDK, they are different, and SDK are nothing but there's a wrapper written above these APIs, so you can directly use that into your language that you like. So let it open. In the meanwhile, I will see if it has been opened somewhere. Yeah, here it is. So you see sub TypeScript, Java, PHP, Python, C++, Ruby, .NET. So what I did is I quickly downloaded a .NET SDK, and I tried to open up the solution. There's no, I couldn't find any error. There was few fixes that I had to do a little bit, but nothing much. And if I try to run this, you will be able to see that I'm able to call this API directly from here. This is the connection. Like I'm using the Arc direct chain. So if you have a developer node running, you can put that API there, and if you run it, just give me a moment. You'll see in my console. Just give me a moment again. It went off. Okay, so here you see the whole JSON has come up with the hash and every block that has been created on this blockchain. So this is so easy to play with it. If you go into the Solution Explorer, there are different type of API call that are happening here. There's a connection section, and then there's a test application also that you can use. There's a fixer, and then you can create your application or the dApp above it, or play with it directly, and you can directly put those data into Arc. But there are different SDK section of SDK. One is the core SDK, where you will be able to actually put the blocks inside Arc, or where you will be able to play with the core thing like wallet, exchange, and other thing. Directly play with the crypto. So this is called crypto, you see. So this is a little different than what, but you will have to install it from the GitHub, and then you can use these APIs to directly play with it. For Java, for Python, for Rust, you see for Swift. So for different framework is written. For .NET, they have, it's here. So crypto is, how do you do crypto is here written. So you have to install the package, and then through .NET CLI command, you can add this package, and then you can start, set up the reference, do a git clone, and then you are on your own. So this is the one thing. Another thing is, like, let's say if you have to set up a developer network, like you want to set up your own Arc blockchain at the development side, because at least you will have to test it. Arc will not allow you to put a transaction directly on the main network, because for that you need to buy Arc token. So how do you do it? So for developer, there is a section called learn.arc.dev, developer environment setup. there, the best thing is, and we'll give you some more discount if you try to take it from us. But DigitalOcean is obviously giving you a discount of almost $100 for 2 months, and you can set up your droplets. They call their VM droplet, and droplet with a 2-core or 4-core easily. So, and once you set up your droplet, let me see if I am able to log into the account. You need to set up a Linux droplet, Ubuntu, that will work. And then there's a step-by-step guide. So Linux, Mac OS is the easiest one to start with. And then if you are known to Docker, you can play with the Docker for Windows or Mac OS, and you can deploy. And believe me, guys, this is, if you know Linux, this is just a copy-paste step. Even my daughter was able to do it. She's just 12-year-old. So you just have to put each and every command, sudo command, the step that they have given, and your node will be up and running, and you will be able to hit that API in the similar way that I'm hitting this explorer.arc.io. Instead of that, you will have your own IP here, and with that IP, you will be able to hit each and every API that I'm hitting on the core network. So, so you see here, equal command is there, and then let me see if that page is open. Okay, but anyway, you were able to understand the DigitalOcean droplet. There's a link which is always there, and you can create your DigitalOcean droplet directly from there, as it's mentioned. Okay. So something happened. I may have forgotten the account, but sometime we'll take you through the whole droplet path, how to set up the droplet. But the setting up the VM is again a very easy task, and you can simply type in how to set up a VM on DigitalOcean. I would suggest for this one you use the 8-core or 4-core machine, which is still be you will be able to deal with that budget, and then because the budget is almost $100, and you can easily use it for a higher end machine, 2 machines for 2 months, or 1 machine for 2 months, or 2 machines for 1 month. Another thing that I wanted to take you through is the GitHub, where they have different type of integration that they have done: Explorer, platform, desktop wallet, mobile wallet. You can directly download it, extend it, and you can work it. And they have a great bounty program, as Justin was talking about. With that bounty program, we'll be able to develop Arc application very fast. So this is what was there in the kitty for today. If anyone have any question, you can ping me and try to answer you out.
So, hi, can you hear me, Anjani?
Yes. Yes. You can give me your name. It's Abhimanyu, right?
So I just wanted to understand better what was the purpose of that .NET SDK that you showed. I mean, who can use that SDK, and
anyone?
For what purpose was the API? And for what purpose was the API being called?
Okay, so is this Abhimanyu? This
Yes.
is Abhimanyu, right? Okay, okay, cool. Let me make you understand. So as you said, there are 15, there are 12 SDK languages that they have given. So API is something where you interact with Arc. So I saw you. Just give me a moment. This one, right? So these all APIs are here. So into the, where did I went there? Just give me a moment. Yeah. So these all APIs are listed here. Different type of API through which you can interact with the Arc core network, or you can interact with your own network that you set up on a separate chain or a separate copy of the Arc platform, which is there on the GitHub. So each and every API that I talk about that you can host it on DigitalOcean machine, those API on your developer network is available. So either for a transaction, either for building, either for connecting the Arc network to Exchange, either for building a delegate machine, interacting with a different portion of the Arc. So these API are needed to interact with the Arc ecosystem. So let's say if your Arc ecosystem has currently 20 or 30 nodes, each of the node will sync up themselves. There is a separate configuration for it that I was talking about, setting up an Arc developer network. But once you set up that network, these networks need to talk to the outside world. And if they need to talk to the outside world, there is an API written for that. Those API, obviously, if you try to use it or try to create it on your own or try to use or extend them on your own, you will take time. But there's a wrapper written over it, and those are called those are the thing they call it their SDK. So this is the way, this is a facade on the API layer. So you can directly use this code either in Java, .NET, Go. Most of them are almost similar to play with the whole Arc ecosystem. Work with the whole Arc ecosystem, not say play.
Okay.
Work with the whole Arc ecosystem.
Okay. So if I have an existing .NET web application and for some purpose I want to use the Arc network and integrate it with my web application, then will I be using this SDK to connect my web application through an API call to the Arc network?
Arc network, yeah. So there are different type of API. If you are building Exchange, if you are doing some basic transaction kind of activity, the API that I'm showing is good. But to connect deep, to put some data into blocks or to put some data inside Arc, you will have to go through this crypto API. So there are different APIs. So once you go and dive deep inside, you will understand that these crypto API are the API where they would actually play with the block or the data. So, and most of the other APIs which are there are client libraries where you directly connect with Arc network, see that how many blocks are there, what are the transactions happening, what is the latest on the network, a lot of things, probing work that you do.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. Any other question, guys? Okay. Thank you everyone for joining. And you can leave me your feedback on www.multicloud for you through a different channel. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time, and be safe in this odd days. Thank you very much.